Hare Krishna, good morning.
Good morning. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So there's this whole conversation going on between Vishnu and Brahma. And there's kind of role reversals going on here. Okay, you can again read this. Vishnu said, if what you say is true, then how is it that everyone does not surrender to me and become free of the cycle of birth and death? Brahma's expression became grave. Foolish people accumulate many unseen and inauspicious reactions in their pursuit of sensual enjoyment. These reactions act like a supernatural force, preventing them from hearing and chanting about you, which alone can free them from suffering. Their predicament is most unfortunate. Brahma hung his foreheads in sorrow and covered his face with his elegant golden hands. My mind is overwhelmed with compassion when I think of how much these poor creatures suffer. They do not know how to permanently relieve themselves from miseries like hunger, thirst, severe cold or heat, illness, and other natural disturbances. Impelled by lust and anger, they simply increase their own suffering and that of others. This greatly grieves me, but I know that wonderful Vishnu widened his charming eyes as if surprised. You are an intelligent person, Brahma. How is it that you lament for the suffering of the material body, which is temporary and has no relation to the eternal soul? My lord, it is true that material miseries do not affect the soul. However, while the living entity tries to enjoy sensual pleasure, he is obliged by your external illusory energy, to identify with the body and thereby experience suffering. Brahma gazed at Vishnu's exquisite features. Undoubtedly, all souls, liberated or conditioned, depend on his will. Liberated souls willingly comply with the Lord's desire and experience ever-increasing joy. Conditioned souls, however, foolishly try to enjoy themselves independently of him. Thus, they are obliged to stay in material existence and experience the miserable reactions to their own misdeeds. Brahma's tone became somber. Neglecting to take shelter of you, foolish materialists try to solve their problems by their own efforts. They often suffer insomnia because of worries and speculative plan making. Let's pause there. If only, right? If we could only understand these things in a very simple, straightforward way. We all depend on the Lord. And those people who are advanced, they willingly comply to the Lord's desire. And therefore they're feeling good, they're feeling happy because trust brings happiness. Then Those people who are not with great faith, conditioned souls, they foolishly try to enjoy themselves independently from Him, making our own plans, trying to do self-will, trying to do it our own way, controlling things. And they have to come again and again in this material existence, experience miserable reactions to their own misdeeds. And we keep wondering, why am I struggling? Why am I suffering? Why these things are happening to me? It's interesting, right? These things. Insomnia. They suffer from insomnia because of worries and speculative plan making. I mean, the simple solution is let go and let God. Let go and let Govinda. But it becomes very difficult for us somehow to practice it. And then, it affects our daily life. It affects our sense of peace, and everything is because of that control. We want to control our lives. We want to, like yesterday, we had the Gita connection and we were speaking about the different kleshas, right? Troubles coming from other living entities, troubles coming from our own mind, troubles coming from worldly affairs and stuff. If we try to control the situation, we suffer. If we just let the Lord take control, it's actually simple but not easy to let the Lord to take control. Okay, you can continue reading. All their endeavors are thwarted. Oh, no, what was that? Despite their best efforts, all their endeavors are thwarted by supernatural power. Brahma paused, thinking of the misguided sages who were averse to the principles of bhakti. He said, even sages who renounce the world to pursue self-realization will continually rotate in the cycle of birth and death if they neglect to regularly hear and discuss your glories. Are you suggesting that I become the order supplier of those who hear and chant about me? Vishnu asked. My lord, anyone who serves you with the hope that you will fulfill their material desire is a false devotee. Sincere practitioners purify their hearts of such desires by constantly hearing about you from your pure devotees who are conversant with Vedic wisdom and free from mundane desires. When they are free of ulterior motives, they become attracted to one of your transcendental forms, and you take your seat in their heart in that form which attracts them. In this way, devotees who always hear and chant about you become fully satisfied by your grace. Brahma became thoughtful for a few moments and then added, although there are devotees like gods in heaven and also some people on earth who desire material opulence, you are not very satisfied by their worship. They are known as Sakama devotees. You may fulfill their desires for material happiness, but you are not pleased to see living beings coveting enjoyment because such infatuation keeps them bound in the dangerous cycle of birth and death. Your pure devotees, on the other hand, are neither attracted nor averse to worldly enjoyment. They are known as Nishkama or desireless devotees, who assume the responsibility of saving fallen souls, and by doing so, they satisfy you. Although you are the eternal well-wisher of all living beings, you completely neglect the non-devotees who have no faith in you. Vishnu replied, if I neglect the faithless non-devotees, how am I everyone's eternal well-wisher? Brahma smiled. Because of your great satisfaction with your Nishkama devotees, you invest your energy of compassion in their hearts and enthuse them to engage in missionary activities on your behalf. Thus, you glorify your pure servants by giving them credit for transforming non-devotees into devotees. Vishnu smiled benevolently. Yes, what you say is true, Brahma. Tell me, how can the Sakama devotees attain my full mercy? Brahma replied, desiring material results, Sakama devotees are not so attracted to the activities of transcendental devotional service. They are more inclined to perform pious acts of ritual worship, charity, and austere penance recommended in the Vedas, with the aim of attaining some results. Then they can then either enjoy their results or use them in your service. If they offer them to you, they accrue permanent spiritual benefit, which enables them to gradually attain the eligibility for pure devotional service. Vishnu's divine features showed his transcendental pleasure on hearing Brahma's enlightened prayers. In a voice filled with affection, Brahma continued, I offer my obeisances unto you, Lord, who are the supreme transcendence. You always remain in your internal spiritual energy. Your all-pervading impersonal presence as Brahman can be known by applying the intelligence to self-realization. In your personal form, you perform pleasure pastimes with your associates. In this Vishnu form, you enjoy with your eternal energy to create, maintain, and annihilate the cosmos. And in your form as Krishna, you enjoy the rasa dance with the gopis. Vishnu closed his eyes, radiating contentment as he listened to Brahma's prayers. My Lord, I take shelter of you. Your incarnations, activities are supernatural limitations of worldly men. Just as a man may pick up an umbrella to shelter his family from rain, you pick up Govardhan Hill like an umbrella to shelter your devotees from Indra's downpour. If at the time of death, a person remembers such pastimes, he is immediately cleansed of the sins accumulated in many births and attain your eternal abode. Let's pause there. That's a beautiful meditation. To remember to go under the shelter of Govardhan. Krishna is our eternal Father. And he wants us to be sheltered, not to loiter here and there and drown ourselves in the rain of this material world. But it's up to us if we want to go under that shelter or not. There are so many opportunities for advancing in devotional service, to take up to devotional service, to associate with devotees who are sincere in the path of progress. But yet sometimes we want to do our own thing. We don't want to be of service. Then we get more and more into trouble, as this chapter is explaining. And what we hear is that it's not easy to get devotional service. It's not easy to become attracted to transcendental devotional service. It's like, Indian conditioning, ritualistic worship, pious activities, charity, austerity, penance. Those are things we are more attracted to. But pure devotional service, not so attracted to. So that's Indian conditioning. Indian conditioning is to want to do things for some gain. But pure devotional service means unconditional. Serving devotees, serving the Lord is unconditional. It reminds me of the prayers of Saint Francis, who says, let me not seek to be understood. Let me instead understand others. Instead of waiting to be loved, let me love. Instead of waiting to be forgiven, let me forgive. So whatever it is that we are expecting, when we start giving it, sincerity, without anything, without expecting anything in return, with that complete and clear intention, I am Lord's servant, I am Krishna's He's my eternal Father. And I want to develop love for him. I want to be engaged in pure devotional service. Such a simple concept, but it becomes so difficult. Why? Because of our anarthas, because of our past contaminations of material desires, egoistic motivations, and weakness of character, weakness to keep our hearts and minds clean. We hoard material desires. We keep collecting material desires as if we are collecting different jewelry for ourselves without understanding how much it's burdening us. So spiritual life means to give up that, to let go and let Govinda. And as we can see, the Lord is not easily giving devotional service. So our way is to go through devotees. Devotees who already have that mood can give us. We can't gain that mood by reading and studying, and analytical and theoretical things cannot give us that. Any comments, questions? Would you like to continue reading? Yeah. From here.
Somebody was reading.
Yeah, from Vishnu's divine features.
Vishnu's divine features showed his transcendental pleasure on hearing Brahma's enlightened prayers. In a voice filled with affection, Brahma continued, I offer my obeisance unto you, Lord. You are the supreme transcendence. You always remain in your internal spiritual energy. Your all-pervading impersonal presence as Brahm can be known by applying the intelligence to self-realization. In your personal form, you perform pleasure pastimes with your associates. In this Vishnu form, you enjoy with your external energy to create, maintain, and annihilate the cosmos. And in your form as Krishna, you enjoy the rasa dance with the gopis. Vishnu closed his eyes, radiating contentment as he listened to Brahma's prayers. My Lord, I take shelter of you. Your incarnations, activities are supernatural imitations of worldly men. Just as a man may pick up an umbrella to shelter his family from rain, you pick up Govardhana Hill like an umbrella to shelter your devotees from Indra's downpour. If at the time of death a person remembers such pastimes, he immediately cleansed of the sins accumulated in many births and attains your eternal abode.
Yeah, such a beautiful meditation, you see. We should read this again and again. We should remember this again and again. Krishna has the hill up. Go under that. Let's take shelter.
Brahma reflected on the foolishness of yogis who believe spirit is impersonal and without diversity. They did not understand that all material phenomena are a perverted reflection of the spiritual variety found in Vaikuntha. Just as a tree's image reflects in a lake, similarly the spiritual planets are reflected as the material worlds. Krishna is the root cause of both the original spiritual planets and their material reflection. Clasping his hands together, Brahma prayed, Your Lordship is the root of the tree of planetary systems. Although you are one, you expand yourself into three primary energies, the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Goodness supervised by you maintains the material creation. Passion supervised by me causes the creation, and ignorance supervised by Shiva destroys it. From these three energies, you have manifested many other gods to manage cosmic affairs. Of all the universal managers, only you are not controlled by material nature. Therefore, I offer my humble obeisance unto you, the origin of the cosmos. A feeling of sorrow overcame Brahma as he thought of the foolish souls who did not understand that their real self-interest lay in realizing Vishnu. Dragged by their unbridled senses, they were impervious to good instructions. Even the meditating yogis and speculation of philosophers who deny Krishna's supremacy will be frustrated and come to naught. He said, I offer you my obeisance. You advise conditioned souls to serve you. If they ignore your beneficial advice, preferring to pursue their own gratification or speculation, you destroy their plans of as all-powerful time. My lord, not only are you untiring time, but you are also the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Even though I head the planetary gods and my lifespan is 3 lakh 11 40 billion human years, and although I have undergone many years of penance, of self-realization, I offer you respectful obeisance. Therefore, all others should follow my example. Brahma knew that foolish people ridicule the Lord's incarnations, thinking him an ordinary man or beast. He therefore prayed, I offer my respects to you who incarnate in various species. Sometimes you appear as a human, but to think you are an ordinary man is foolish. You may even become a hog or fish, but your form is always transcendental, uncontaminated by matter. You appear for your pleasure, pastimes of enlivening and delivering your devotees, as well as of upholding the religious principles you ordain. Brahma was enraptured by Vishnu's exquisite blackish form reclining on Ananta's stupendous pure white serpentine body. The huge waves of the Garbhodaka ocean crashed around him. Who else could peacefully sleep amidst such turbulence? Tears fell from Brahma's eyes. Everything about the Lord was supramundane, even his sleep. Unfortunately, fools considered him mythological. Such persons were no better than a frog in a well who cannot imagine the vastness of the ocean. They could not understand that Krishna, the supreme mystic, can do anything. Brahma prayed, My lord, while lying on your serpent bed, enjoying the pleasure of sleep amidst the violent waters of devastation. You hold all the universal planets within your abdomen. All worshipful Lord, now you have awoken and opened your eyes, which resemble blooming lotuses. I was born from your navel, which also resembles a lotus flower. By your grace, I am meant to create the universe, which rested within you as you slept. Concentrating his mind, Brahma beseeched the Lord to give him the intelligence to do his service. Pray be merciful to me. You are the only friend of all beings. You maintain everyone by your six transcendental opulences. Since I am a surrendered soul, please empower me to execute the creation as before. Vishnu smiled in consent and again slowly closed his eyes. Brahma considered the risk involved in his service. He would need to work in the mode of passion. This would make him susceptible to egoism, a natural side effect of passion. What if, overcome by pride, he forgot his position as the Lord's eternal servant? He shuddered at the thought. My Lord, I know you are the actual creator. You act through your internal energy. The goddess of fortune, I am merely an assistant. Since you are the benefactor of surrendered souls, kindly protect me from the false prestige of thinking myself the creator. Help,
Wow.
help me to remember my full dependence on you. Brahma would have to contact many conditioned souls in the course of his service. What if their materialistic association diverted his mind from thinking of Krishna? Feelingly he continued, You have innumerable potencies of which I am merely one. My service is to fashion material bodies of your spiritual parts and parcels, the living beings. I pray
Mhm.
that this will not deviate me from hearing the Vedic hymns and thus remaining fixed in truth. Vishnu continued to lie as if asleep. Brahma became tense. What if Vishnu had not heard his prayers? Without first receiving the Lord's blessings, he could not commence his difficult service. My Lord, you are the supreme and oldest person. You are ever increasingly merciful to fallen souls like me. Kindly open your eyes and benedict me with your loving smile. With your guidance, I feel incapable of creating the cosmos. Vishnu slowly opened his lotus petal eyes and looked at his devotee. Brahma had become silent, seemingly tired from his long penance. Vishnu saw that Brahma was glancing anxiously at the devastating waters, perturbed about planning and constructing the planetary systems. Where could he accommodate them so they would not be drowned by the violent waves of the Garbhodaka ocean? How too could he create sufficient varieties of bodies to facilitate the living being's endless material desires? All this was extremely difficult to accomplish. The Lord spoke in a deep and resounding voice. Brahma, knower of the Vedas, be neither depressed nor anxious about creating. By my grace, your prayers are granted. Perform penance and concentrate your mind on me by chanting Vedic hymns. Then you will see me within your heart and throughout the creation, and I will guide you in your service. You will see that both you and the creation exist within me. You will also witness my pastimes when I incarnate in my original form as Krishna. At that time, I will expand. myself into all the calves and cowherd boys of Vrindavan.
Let's pause. Wow. This is an amazing reassurance by the Lord, and it applies to each and one of us. It's relevant, very, very relevant. What is that? to be neither depressed nor anxious about our life. Okay, I'm going to reread this like for you. Okay, your life. My dear precious child of Krishna, be neither depressed nor anxious about your life. By Krishna's grace, your prayers for progress and protection will be granted. Perform your duties, concentrate your mind on chanting the holy names. Then you will see the Lord present in your heart. And throughout your life, Krishna will guide you at every step in your service. You will see how you and your plans are in Krishna's hands. You will also witness Krishna's direct interference in your life in very amazing ways. So Krishna will touch your heart. Krishna will influence your mind. Krishna will empower you to do the service. Krishna will help you to overcome all the troubles and difficulties so that you will become an example of how to be as a devotee for others. So there is no need to despair. There is no need to feel anxious. There's no need to feel hopeless. Just go to the Lord and say, Krishna, I'm your precious child. Please take care of me. And let him in. Don't make him wait at the door. Open the door. Let the Lord in. Yeah, sometimes Krishna will test you. He will test your determination. He will test your ability to choose between Krishna or Maya. Just like Brahma, one time he bewildered Brahma also with this cowherd boy story. Similarly, sometimes Krishna will try to bewilder us, to try to make us stronger. He will put us through some situations. We just have to have faith. Faith that Krishna is our father and he has the best plan. Best father. He knows everything. He loves us. He has all the time in the world for us. Nothing is small. Nothing is big for the Lord. But everything about you is precious to the Lord. So he's going to be there for you. He is there for you. He's got your back. He's got plans for you. Plans to make you successful, happy. Plans to make you flourish. Not plans to punish you or keep you under difficulties. Because God is not some sadistic, insecure person. He wants the best for you. He wants you to grow and develop yourself. So he's going to put you in training ground called life. So let us take shelter of Govardhan Hill, which is the umbrella of the Lord who gives us shelter, and pray at his lotus feet to engage us in pure devotional service, to give us the taste to chant the holy names of the Lord, to help us to cleanse our heart from all the anarthas and clean the mirror of the heart, and to work on our character defects, and to take complete shelter of his will and his desire. Let us utilize this life, this one life, let us dedicate to the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna, and be part of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Become an instrument. We don't have to control anything. Just be an instrument. Jai. So let us end here for today. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions or comments, now is the time. Okay, if you don't have any questions, see you tomorrow. And take care, and remember, Krishna loves you. You're a precious child of Krishna. Krishna loves you. He has plans for you. And see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol.